Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, October 19th, 2020. I am very happy to be joined by G. Scott Sr. I am Dave Biddle. Mr. Scott, you got to be careful what you ask for. You wanted to come on the show a little bit more often. It's only been 2 weeks, and I'm bugging you already, my man. It's great to have you. It's good to see you.
It's good to be back, man. Especially after Sunday. I apologize. Those Cincinnati Bengals did not get it done. But they're close. You know, they're close. The Cincinnati Bengals, you can at least see the future when it comes to that team, right?
That's right. I love Joe Burrow. I love T. Higgins. We just got to get a real head coach and a real defense and a real offensive line. Just minor things there. I want to start off. There's so much I want to ask you about. I want to start off with the sacrifice you are making. You're going to be coming to the Horseshoe. I mean, it's just 5 days away. It's just crazy. Welcome to game week. And we'll get into how surreal that is that we're finally here in game week. But I want to start off with the sacrifice that you're making. For those that don't know, just tell the listeners the sacrifice that you're making when you're going to be coming to town for Ohio State football games.
Well, I think that the sacrifice that I'm making is probably no different than most Americans right now in this country. You know what I mean? Like some people, whether it's a sacrifice for your kids staying home from school or missing sports or missing graduations or missing a banquet, wedding. I think you know where I'm going with this. I think a lot of people in this country have had to make a sacrifice over the last 7 months, which happens to be in the next few days. This is game week, 5 days away. When I do come to town to see the games over at the Shoe, the deal is going to be that our family doesn't see my son. And so I think that is a small price to pay considering the season isn't so long. And of course you have technology, Dave, you know, you're able to get on that. But the reason for that is, and I don't believe that I'm the only parent, but I haven't personally talked to anyone. I did see some folks say something on Twitter. But the one thing that I will say is that this is also a personal thing, but it's a thing where, selfishly speaking, I don't want my son to catch COVID because of me or any of us coming from the airport or on the airplane. And as you know, in the Big Ten, if you are positive, you're out for 21 days. And or if someone that is associated with him through contact tracing, that would be 14 days for them. Contrary to popular belief, you can't test on the weekend and then 5 days later be ready to play or coach in the next game. So what ends up happening is you just kind of want to make a little bit of a sacrifice. So you just don't want to be the person that messes that up. He understands, we understand, and I think everybody can understand. I know that I think that the players, I think that their sacrifice is unbelievable. Dave, could you imagine being in your late teens, early 20s and being told the only thing you can do is just go to practice and go back to your room? I mean, come on, man. That's a tough sacrifice. And those listening right now, you know what I'm talking about. You remember what it was like to be 19, 20, 21 years old. So that's a sacrifice. You have the coaches. You hear about the coaches and their sacrifice, what they're deciding to do. I'm quite sure maybe some of them, I don't know this, but I would assume that some of them are probably staying away from family members, staying away from immediate family members. So I think, again, everyone at some point during the last 7 months has made some type of sacrifice.
Well, I commend you for that. It's really cool what you're doing. And you're right. You know, Ohio State's coaches, a lot of them are staying away from family and just kind of sequestering themselves and just doing nothing but working on football. I commend what everybody's doing, the parents, the players, the coaches, for what you guys are doing to make sure we have Buckeye football 5 days away. Like I said, it's so surreal. What are the nerves like for a father, your son, not only finally getting a chance to play, but making his Buckeye debut? Like I've told you, I get nervous for middle school girls tennis matches. My daughter plays middle school tennis. I can't imagine what it's like when your much ballyhooed son, your hyped son, your top recruit is finally getting a chance to play for the Buckeyes 5 days from now. I'm sure the nerves will get even more crazy as we get closer, but what are the nerves like, my friend?
The nerves are getting crazy. It officially hit me on Sunday, right? It hit me on Sunday, the nerves finally. And I was able to kind of understand where they're coming from, Dave. And I think I do know. I think, yes, it's the chance for, all parents have that nerves, like you just explained, the nerves when you're going to see your son or daughter play in an event or a sporting event or play or whatever it might be when you go to see them perform. So there's always nervousness as a parent. But I think the difference is for me this time is I've had the nervousness before. This is This is different. Like, this is where it becomes official. This is no more high school. This is no more Pop Warner. This is no more at halftime you get the oranges. You know what I mean? There's no snacks at the end of the game. No, this is official college football. And what do I mean? I mean this. I mean that you, Dave, your partners, other media members, it's all fair game now. It's not about, oh, look at this freshman. And once he is out there, he's either going to be this or he's going to be that. And as a parent and family, everybody has to understand this is a business. And when you understand that, you know that there's going to be a little bit of the zest will be gone after Saturday. It will now be he can do this and he can do that. And then he all of a sudden becomes number 13 to the nation, right? Whether he's good or bad, right? And so who knows? Right now, I'm having a good conversation with you. This is fun. This is a parent. And maybe some people will say, well, man, this G. Scott Sr. is always on that show. Well, that's because so far, Dave and all his friends ain't said nothing too bad, maybe about my son. but no, let me be serious. Listen, but let me be serious in what I'm going to say. Right now, there's a little bit of innocence still there, right? After Saturday, it begins. So you want to capture that moment, still enjoy it, and then either way, you just hope for the best. And I think at this point, you just hope for Buckeye football to be able to play games, right? And then after you worry about that battle to be able to play, then you say, okay, will the Buckeyes be good? So now there's this nervousness because you want to see them win. There's this expectation, and everybody's waiting for October 24th, Fox noon kickoff.
5 days and counting. Now, I know he hasn't played a game yet, just like you said, and it all goes out the window when the real games start. But man, I tell you what, it wouldn't be good if coaches are saying, "Yeah, I don't know if G. Scott's going to play this year for us. He might be a year away or this and that." No, it's the other way around. He's making waves. Guys like Matt Barnes do not gush. Matt Barnes is not a gusher. The safeties coach, for any listener out there that doesn't know who I'm talking about, Matt Barnes does a really good job. Second year at Ohio State, safeties coach, special teams coach. He was asked about the 4 freshman wide receivers, and he just gushed about your son, and said things like he's the toughest young wide receiver he's ever seen. He's also explosive. He'll make plays on the outside offensively, but man, he plays like a linebacker, and I mean that in the best way. And we're going to use him on kickoff coverage and all this stuff. Not as a return man, but as a guy that just to go down there and wreck shop. And then you talk to Brian Hartline, you talk to Ryan Day, they talk up G. Scott Jr. as a guy that's going to help out this year. I know you probably have to be measured in what you say. You don't want to make any grand proclamations here, but man, I'm not, I'm just shooting you straight as I always do. Everything I hear about your son isn't good. It's great. It's great. Right. And we'll see what happens 5 days from now, but it's got to feel good that he's making waves in practice.
I think it does feel good as a parent. That's a natural thing. All parents, care about all their kids doing well and being successful. So, but I think when it comes down to this, I think the only proclamation that was made from the time he started this and since he's been there and continued on is going to be the hard work that you put in. Fortunately, I've been around an NFL team for 17 years, so I've gotten to see behind the scenes. Now, you might see them on TV, but I've gotten to see what it really takes for players to actually be great at the game. And every single player that I've seen over the years that have been great, those have been the hardest workers. Those are the ones that they don't believe in days off. NFL season, usually your days off is on Tuesday. The best in the game, they never took a day off. That's the day you come in on Tuesday, you can do something with your body. You can always be working and doing something. So I think for my son, I think he's going to have to continue to be coachable. That's going to be very important. He's going to have to continue to be a student of the game. That's going to be important. and he's going to have to continue to stay consistent with the effort and the work that he puts in. In regards to talent, I don't know if people know this or not, but in college football, Power 5, Big Ten, everybody's got talent. Everybody's got talent. The stuff that you guys watched yesterday on Sunday, the pro football game, everybody's got talent. But for some reason, sometimes people say things like, oh, that player's terrible. No, he's not. The player's not terrible. He just happens to maybe miss a block or miss a tackle or miss an assignment. So that had nothing to do with talent. That had to go do with being prepared, work ethic, study of film. So I think as long as he continues with that understanding, then that will give him the best chance of being successful. Notice I said best chance. There is no guarantee with this, man. It is what it is. What's going to be, it's going to be.
Now, I hate to complain because I'm just glad we have Big Ten football. That said, I'm going to complain a little bit. I find it so ridiculous that the Big Ten didn't find a way to build in a bye week with everything we're seeing. And it's not just hindsight's 2020. I was saying at the time, like they should have started on the 17th. They should have a bye week built in. We're seeing too much stuff with COVID. Again, I'm thrilled we have Big Ten football. Don't get me wrong. Our brothers in arms, the Cornhuskers, are coming here in 5 days to the Horseshoe. I'm pointing like it's like right down the road here. It's not too far down. I only live about 10 minutes away. But I'm living over here in Hilliard on the west side. But so I don't want to complain. I'm thrilled we have Big Ten football, obviously. I just find it absurd that they build in all these booby traps, like 21 days, as you said, instead of 14. Where in the SEC, Nick Saban can come down with it. Now, they're saying it was a false positive, so I get that. It's just different rules, and they gave themselves no buffer room. I just find that so absurd. I'm just, talk me off the ledge here. Should I just not complain? Gee, is that what I should do, is just shut up and enjoy it?
I mean, it's tough, right? Like look, we all do it. So whether you actually voice that complaint or you think it in your mind, like for an example, I was on Twitter the other day and I saw in the state of Ohio, like, are kids getting ready to start going to the playoffs? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what week are you guys in Ohio high school football? Are you get week 7, week 8?
Week 9, week 8. They've played 8 weeks of high school football here in Ohio, which I said something on Twitter about that. Like, they've played 8 weeks and we're not even starting Big Ten football till next week. Like, ugh.
So when you hear and see those things, you might not say it, but you're thinking it, right? And yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking knowing that you have no wiggle room, knowing the Big Ten is more strict than any other conference, right? Big Ten, Pac-12. What's the rules in the SEC for protocol? It doesn't even matter.
Their rule is screw it. Who cares? I'm just exaggerating a little bit. Go ahead, sir. Sorry.
It reminds me back in the day when I used to try to get in the club. Boy, I was like, boy, you guys are winding me down for a long time. And then you see somebody else just walk right on through. That's that SEC testing. But anyways, it's been fun. It's fun, having laughs about it. But in all seriousness, I think that the most important thing is that everybody remains safe, whether it's the SEC, Pac-12, ACC, Big 12, it doesn't matter. Big Ten. They need to remain safe, and hopefully the Big Ten and, of course, the good guys, the Buckeyes, can kind of keep the ship going.
Now, I would just want to open the floor to you to close the show. Anything you want to say to the listeners out there? You got a ton of fans. We finally got you a nickname, the MC. 2 E's. G has 2 E's. Yeah. You got to put some emphasis on the, because of the Ohio State University. You're a real MC. Everywhere you go, you're the master of ceremonies, in my opinion, and we finally got you a nickname, the MC. My friend, what would you like to say to the Bucknutters out there?
Yeah, I just want to say welcome to the Buckeye family, right? That's really important. It's been cool getting to know some of you guys on Twitter. I definitely see inside of Bucknuts. I'm all inside of there, and I love some of the conversations that's going. And let's see. Let me see if I want to say, is it Patrick Murphy? Patrick Murphy, shout out to him. He's doing a lot of hard work out there. But there's one guy I want to really give a shout out to, and I don't know who he is, but he makes a very good effort on Bucknuts. His name is what? Is it the Chris Munn or something like that?
Chip
He does
Munn.
the he
Regards,
was
Chip. Yeah, regards, Chip. Chip Munn.
hey,
He's an airline pilot. Yes, sir.
okay, okay. I want to give a shout out to Chip Munn because you know what, Chip? You got a great heart, man. I watch you all the time, and you get on there and you post the tweets, and you're very faithful and religious about that. And here's the thing, Chip. I actually go through those tweets because I want to see it. It's all it is Buckeye love. So that you're doing that. So I just want to say, Chip, your efforts are great. You got a big heart. I appreciate you.
You're the man, G. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it very much. I know the listeners do too. Thank you for your wisdom and your time, sir.
Okay, brother. Talk soon.
And thank you to all the listeners. Have a great day, Bucknutters.